Welcome to all of you who are connecting online to our annual knowledge exchange event today. So, as many of you know, I'm an experimental linguist with more than 30 years experience conducting research on multilingualism, language learning over the lifespan, in collaboration with many colleagues and around the world. I've also always supported the idea that research shouldn't be confined to lecture theaters and labs, but should be known and shared by people in society. And that's why I established Bilingualism Matters in 2008, first of all as a local service for parents and teachers in Edinburgh, focused on the facts, the benefits, and the challenges of child bilingualism. And I'm also the parent of bilingual children. They were children then. And I was aware of the lack of information and the many, many misconceptions on bilingualism in the community. So I'm sure I'm preaching to the converted. I don't need to explain to you in detail why we should care about multilingualism and why bilingualism and multilingualism in any languages and in both signed and spoken modalities are important for individuals and for societies. Multilingualism can open the mind towards cultural diversity. Multilingualism also, importantly, helps to maintain linguistic diversity. Languages are disappearing around the globe at a very, very fast rate. The survival of many of these languages depends on parents speaking the language to their children, what we call intergenerational transmission, often in a situation of bilingualism with minority or with majority languages. Research also shows that despite many old misconceptions and some brand new misconceptions, children who grow up with two languages or learn another language in a supporting environment, but also adults who learn another language later in life, potentially derive multiple benefits from their bilingualism in terms of language awareness, understanding other people's perspectives, dealing with complex situations. The roads towards multilingual upbringing and multilingual education can be bumpy and present challenges, but the better we understand these challenges, the better we can address them. These are all excellent reasons to celebrate multilingualism in all languages, both spoken and signed, as a social, as a cognitive resource. It's the fact of having more than one language that matters, regardless of which languages. And this should be an incentive for learning languages at school, for speakers of minority languages to continue to use their language, for migrant families to continue to speak their language, with an awareness that this is beneficial to their children's linguistic and social integration. And more generally, it should be an incentive to regard multilingualism in any languages as an investment for life that can enrich countries and their citizens. Initially, and for several years, Bilingualism Matters operated as an active group of volunteers, including myself. Pretty soon, it started to attract more and more interest from other countries and other sectors of society. Then it officially became a center at the University of Edinburgh in 2014. And then we kept growing and growing and growing, both in Scotland and internationally. And now, 8 years later, we have transformed into a not-for-profit social enterprise. We legally registered Bilingualism Matters as a not-for-profit organization in August 2021 and launched it in Scotland, our host country, on 30th of March 2022 in a public hybrid event that some of you have attended. If not, you can watch the recordings on our YouTube channel. We wish to thank all of you who were interested a year ago and have been waiting for these developments. Thanks for staying with us. Our new membership structure, and you will be hearing more about this, acknowledges and builds on the original setup of Bilingualism Matters, but also opens up new types of affiliation. We would like to reassure all of our existing branches that we're still committed to serve them and will be issuing renewal contracts soon. Kat will explain how existing branch members can sign up and get individual membership. We would also like to welcome our 3 new branches, Luxembourg, Madrid, Naples, and announce 4 upcoming branches that are currently under negotiation and we hope to open in the near future. This is California, Irvine, Monash, Australia, and Bologna and Urbino in Italy. We would like to welcome our 2 new honorary members, Dr. Helen Kuludobrova from Central Connecticut State University and Dr. Maria Garraffa from University of East Anglia. We also welcome our first non-academic member, the not-for-profit organization In Italiano in New York City. And we are happy to announce our first new partnership with the not-for-profit organization CALEC, Center for the Advancement of Languages, Education, and Communities. Now, despite this very important transformation into a social enterprise and all the massive amounts of work it required, we continue to deliver our annual research event, the Bilingualism Matters Research Symposium, which has grown in size and visibility over the last 2 years. You will hear more about the 2022 event very shortly. Also, Bilingualism Matters continue to be the official dissemination and public impact channel in several European-funded and UK-funded projects on different aspects of bilingualism. We continued our engagement on the global level. Our contribution to the UNESCO Futures of Education report last year has been recognized to make a difference. And plurilingualism now has a prominent place in the final document. We continue to work together with UNESCO to support the implementation of the recommendations in the report. And we're now engaging in joint work with European agencies, for example, the European Civil Society Platform for Multilingualism, and the NGO Committee on Language and Languages, which is a committee that entertains official consultative relationships with the United Nations. We're planning an event this autumn in collaboration with UNESCO, the UN Committee on Language and Languages, and the United Nations Association of New York City. Now, to conclude, becoming an independent, not-for-profit organization is allowing us to develop many more synergies within our international network, to establish new partnerships with non-academic organizations in both the public and the private sectors, and to welcome affiliations from private individuals. We hope we will be generating more resources through grants, partnerships, philanthropies, consultancies, projects, revenues, to allow Bilingualism Matters to build on its success and to promote new and better initiatives to invest in multilingualism. I'm done now. We welcome all those who are not yet involved with us and encourage everyone to join our community. And you'll be hearing very soon how. Thank you very much.
So welcome also from my side. My name is Tanja Hincker, and I've been with Bilingualism Matters since 2014, first as a branch director of the branch in Konstanz, and then as a co-director at the branch in Tübingen, and as a member of the international board. And I've been asked to join Kat and Antonella as the third director of the Bilingualism Matters social enterprise. And yes, in this capacity, I would really like to extend a welcome to all the familiar faces, but to also to all the people who are not part of our network yet, and who we're hopefully going to get to know very soon. As a mother of bilingual children and as a researcher in multilingualism, I'm very happy to be part of the Bilingualism Matters family. And yeah, I'm looking forward to strengthening our mission and our collaborations within the network worldwide. And one of the tasks of the directorship is to organized the committee on this year's annual conference, as Antonella just mentioned. And I would like to give you a little bit of information on this, how you can become part of this year's symposium. And after that, Anna Ballas is going to give a brief update on the publication of last year's BMRS. Well, let me share my screen very briefly. I hope you can all see this. So the aim of the Bilingualism Matter annual conference is it's interdisciplinary, it's international, and the aim is really to cover a very, very large amount of aspects of bilingualism, from linguistic, developmental, clinical aspects. We welcome psycholinguistic and neurolinguistic aspects, sociolinguistic and sociocultural aspects, pedagogical experts. So it's quite comprehensive. But what really sets us apart from other conferences is that also in the abstract submission, it needs to be made clear like what the relevance of the research and the results are for the general public, for health and educational professionals, for policymakers, and for others. So we really try and follow this goal of Bilingualism Matters to bring, research to practice and to really make research available. Just to give you a brief glimpse of how the Bilingualism Matters Research Symposium has grown, it went from a one-day event with some international speakers, but also a larger local community that was held in Edinburgh in 2018, to growing to a two-day event that was held in Edinburgh in 2019, to unfortunately being moved online in 2020, but you can see that the abstracts submitted have basically doubled. And then in 2021, when we also held an online event, the proposals nearly doubled again. So we are very much looking forward to this year's submission, and hope we can break the record on the submissions for this year. The BMRS this year will be held in October, exactly the same dates as last year, October 25th and 26th. And in contrast to last year, we are daring to organize it as a hybrid event. It will be held in Edinburgh and online, so you actually have a choice. However, to make the announcement now, the part of the conference in Edinburgh will be rather small. So sign up early if you want to be part of the in-presence event. And of course, it's also possible to join online. We've been able to get two keynote speakers confirmed, Ludovica Serratrice from the University of Reading, who's an expert in bi and multilingualism and who's also director of the Center for Literacy and Multilingualism, and Joseph Lobianco from the Melbourne Graduate School of Education, and who's also former chief executive of the National Languages and Literacy Institute of Australia. So we also tried to get keynote speakers from different continents. So this will be a very exciting event, and we also have a special issue planned in an international journal. And for you, important, the abstract submission deadline is the 30th of June. We're hoping to send out notifications of acceptance about a month later, and registration also opens then. As an incentive, there is a reduced fee for Bilingualism Matters members. And we will post the link to the conference website here in the chat. So this is, a very heartfelt invitation for you to join the BMRS, either as a speaker or of course also as an attendee. At this point, I'd like to thank the organizing team, and yeah, hope to see you in Edinburgh or online. And with this, I'd like to turn over to Anna.
Thank you, Tanja. I'll also share my screen and say a few words about the book that we have proposed as a post-conference publication after Bilingualism Matters Research Symposium in 2021. And so the title of the book will be Bilingualism Matters, Interdisciplinary Research on Socially Relevant Aspects of Bilingualism. This is a list of editors, so Georgia Fatiadou from Thessaloniki, John Schweeder from Canada, and Yang Wang from the University of South Carolina, and myself. But the list, I guess, is alphabetical. We have submitted a proposal to Studies in Bilingualism series in John Benjamin's, whose editors are Fatih Bayram and Tihana Krash. And the proposal has been accepted, but pending minor changes. So these are the editor's suggestions. We need to add an ending capstone chapter written by a distinguished scholar in the field who would summarize all the content chapters. And we should explicitly, encourage the authors to explicitly discuss the socially relevant aspect of the research presented in each of the papers, so that the focus of the book is immediately obvious. And the state of affairs is now the following. We have received 12 abstracts, and so we'll have 12 papers, hopefully, along with an introductory chapter by the editors. We are now looking forward to receiving full papers. Then peer review will last till the end of October. And we hope to submit the whole book, submit the manuscript to series editors in April 2023. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Anna. Right, so I think that's my turn now. I have not introduced myself, so I will do it now. My name is Katarzyna Przybycień. Please call me Kat, if that's easier for you. I have been with Bilingualism Matters for the last 6 years, but in my current position here as a CEO, I'm looking after the business side of Bilingualism Matters, as we are no longer just a university center. So if anything goes wrong here organizationally, blame me, basically. You can leave Antonella and Tanja out of it. I was thinking perhaps you would appreciate a little bit of update of what does all these different changes mean. We made a special case for Tanja and Anna to update you on the academic side. This was our main, the academic side is our main source of information and knowledge. So we need to keep that one fresh, going and vibrant. And we want to hold our own conferences. We want to invite academics and collaborate with them because we want to provide the non-academic world as well as the other academics with the best and the most up-to-date information when they engage with parents, with professionals. We also want you, the professionals and the parents and the non-academics, to be, confident that what you get from us is not stereotypes. This is the distinguishing feature between us and the others. This is how we see it. But we do much, much more on the non-academic end, and this happens locally. So to find out what we're doing, you would have to go to the different branches website and check what's happening there, because how we have worked in the past, traditionally, as Antonella mentioned, we had lots of different branches across the world. At the moment, we are at 30, although many of them have yet not renewed the contracts because they have not received the renewals, because we were in the process of preparing them. So we have reached the end of that stage, and we will be in touch with all of you directors of branches who are waiting for that step, and those who are still in contract. Obviously nothing changes here. So what are the differences? And please, if you think of a question as I'm speaking, please put it in the chat area or write it down, and there will be time at the end of this part of the event to ask questions. You can ask questions at any time. So if you don't get a chance, please just keep the questions, put it in the chat, and we will address them. As Antonella mentioned, we are no longer part of the university. That opens up all sorts of new opportunities, but we also are facing new challenges that we've never come across before. And this is very exciting, but things go slowly. So again, please bear with us. But just to give you an idea what we are. So many of you are asking us, so what are we at the moment? So this is what I'm going to show you. So we are a company limited by guarantee, but we are, for those of you who are a little bit familiar with this topic, is companies limited by guarantee by default are not, they are separate entities. So it is no longer personification of Antonella's idea is not Antonella. It's a separate legal entity who is responsible for itself, and it's governed by a board of directors and an advisory board. So we are registered with the Companies House. I'm just going to show you the website of this. If you ever wanted to show anyone or check for yourselves what we are, you would have to, this is where you get, but you would have to go in the UK. There is a way for you to find companies. So basically you go to the you search for Companies House, you go to information about the company, and then you start the search. You've got the search, the register, you put Bilingualism Matters here. I put it already, so I'm just following this. And then you come up with Bilingualism Matters. And then you see basically what we are, where we set up, whether we are active, what sort of things we said we're going to do. And then you can go and have a look at the founding director, which is called in the UK Memorandum of Articles of Association. And this is a subject, this is a source of many information. And so if you are sort of, for example, wonder how we are, what rules or what legal, how we are governed legally, this is the place to go. And I will be sharing those links with you later under the video so you can go and follow up. That also means that if any of you would like to donate a significant amount of money to us, we would be delighted to accept. Unfortunately, you will not get any tax relief on this because we are not non-profit, we are not for profit. So if we are lucky to make a profit, all of that money will go back to the company, as we are a company, but we like to speak about ourselves as organization, as we are far more than a company. At the moment, Bilingualism Matters employs only one person part-time, and that's myself in my current position, and everyone else otherwise is contributing time for free. As Antonella mentioned and Tanja, there is at the moment 3 directors forming the board of directors, but there will be more positions coming up as we go along. And if any of you would like to dare and join our team, there will be an opportunity over summer to put yourself forward as a director of Bilingualism Matters. As I said, it's not paid position, but it's a rewarding position, and you would get a task or an area to look after. Now we've got an advisory board, and I wanted to go back, and so I don't have slides because I thought I was going to take you to the sources, and I'm just going to show you where you can find that information later when we are no longer connected. So we used to have an advisory board that was serving us as a network, and that board has now changed. So we've got familiar faces here, you see, and this is our board. You can go and find all those people on the Bilingualism Matters network website. So you just Google Bilingualism Matters and you will see org.org, and you will be able to find about us and about advisory boards. So you can contact people directly from this website. And again, at the moment, our board consists of mainly academics. There's only one non-academic member, but since the membership is expanding to embrace other types of people, we are now going to be inviting as well representatives of other categories of members. Again, over summer, this opportunity will be announced. As part of our legal requirement now is to hold an AGM, so the annual general meeting, where the next sort of rules and legal obligations will be discussed, and the governance and the decisions will be made by voting. So if you become a member of Bilingualism Matters, you will then be able to influence what's happening by voting. And if you are a branch member, if you are a branch director, you've got the highest level of influence, as we have honored our longest standing and traditional members, which are branches, in the a bit higher level of influence over what's happening, and all the organizations and individuals who are joining us will be asked for other things as well, to vote and share with us what you would like to see. So the AGM is different from this event now. So for those of you who might get confused, we've got 3 annual repeating events. One is the research symposium, which is the academic event. Today, we are holding the non-academic knowledge exchange event, which we hope at some years will be aligned with the conference. So if we manage to go somewhere in person, we can take advantage of the time and the travel. But if it's online, it's going to be held separate. And the third one is the AGM, and everyone will be notified about this to join if they wish. I'm going to now move to the membership, and I'm sure some of you will be very excited to hear. We are at the moment at 66 participants to our event. We had 144 registered. I'm unable to say what the proportion at the moment is now of people who are related to the network already and those new ones, but certainly there has been a following, and there might be other people joining us throughout the event. But I am assuming there's a large proportion of you have not yet had anything to do with Bilingualism Matters. So this information will be of interest to you as well. I'm going to share my screen again, and apologies, it's not very attractive at the moment, but this is something that we will work and make it a little bit more attractive as we go along. So I'm just going to share my screen and show you what we've got on offer at the moment. So you see the join us, and then there's the different types of membership. So my colleague Christy has made really nice images that show you the different options. And there's the different options for members, for centers, and then for the other types of memberships. But if you would like to, if any of that is for you, these are the links that you have to follow to register. So this is sort of explores the different options. If you are, for example, a student affiliated with an existing branch, you click on the sign up link here, and it tells you how much it costs you, and it tells you whether it costs you, obviously, and it then takes you to a sign up page. Or this is actually not taking you to it because I'm already signed up. So this was the next thing I wanted to show you. So I'm just going to stop sharing you, and I'm going to tell you where it's going to take you when you click that link. Okay, sorry, this is where you're going to end up when you're going to be logging in. So I'm going to stop sharing because I'm not sharing what I wanted to show you. Done. So I was just saying earlier, I was sharing with my colleagues that I was very much worried that this is not going to work the way that we anticipated, as the technology always does. And someone told me, don't worry, when Bill Gates was launching the operating system, the XP, his computer froze. So let's just say that we're going to get where Bill Gates got with this, but we have the same problems at the beginning as he's got. I mean, clearly my very useful algorithms are not allowing me to join to. Okay, so sorry, I'm not going to be able to show you because it logs in automatically and I cannot prevent it from logging in. But generally speaking, when you go to the join us, you will be able to see those different options, and I will paste it in the chat area in a second. You will have a sort of very short application form that will then be sent to the admin person and that manages those applications. There will be a group from the advisory group looking after this, and you will be accepted. If you are a member of the branch, you will automatically be accepted. If you are not currently affiliated with any branch, you will be basically, the application will be looked at, and then you will get the decision. And then you will be sort of asked to sign up, and you will be asked to pay a fee. Unfortunately, we are no longer able to offer this for free because we have to pay at the moment for the very platform and everything else that suddenly costs money. And it used to be for free. Obviously, it was never for free, but the university has covered those costs in the past. We hope the price will not be preventative. We are here to pursue a very ambitious and important to us mission. So if any of you would like to join, but the price is preventative, get in touch with us. We've got bursaries. We've got many spaces left for people who cannot at the moment support us, but would like to. And we will make up the utmost effort to accept everyone who wants to be part of our community. But if you can, on the other hand, please contribute. Okay, so what have we got there? If you do sign up, so this is what I'm going to show you. And again, as the going on with the Bill Gates example, let's say. Going with this, you might not be immediately amazed what's out there. Because what we made a decision, it was one of those decisions that you need to make when you launch something new. So you can either populate it or make it look ready, or you can make it as unready as possible to truly invite everyone who wants to join you to help you with doing this, basically own the space as we would. So when you go to the first part of this, the main area, you're going to see the social media feed. So whatever is tagged as us, and if your social media will then be linked to the platform, it will appear here as a sort of like a Facebook feed, so to say. Once people start getting sign up, they will appear here. At the moment, it's just me here again, because we are literally launching this platform today. So you've got a unique opportunity to test it and find everything that doesn't work. And please get in touch with us. And please don't get discouraged. We are a mature community, but we are a very young startup, and even younger in terms of managing technology like that. But we've got a very good company helping us. But at the moment, basically, it's not yet full of things. So you're going to be able to see the members on the map and identify people near you. You're going to be able to see branches, organizations, and working groups. And we're going to have the first one here focusing on students. All future events will appear on the list. You will have your own events, or you will have the events that are appearing. We've already discussed with Fabrice that one of the first events will be on the 31st of May if you want to learn more about publishing multilingual books. So this is what just giving you a heads up. If you've got something you would like to discuss, ask questions. There's going to be a forum, blogs. Again, the first blogs are coming up, resources and opportunities. So this is a place where we will be announcing conference calls, asking for research participants to participate, looking for jobs, basically people for jobs, PhDs, and any other collaborations possible. So this is what we would like to grow, and this is where we would like most of the interactions take place. As you may imagine, being a very, very small team, it's causing delays on the admin side of the platform. Also will serve us as a CRM. So basically it will manage lots of those automated things. You will get emails from the platform if you want updates. You will also be getting emails if your membership is running out. So if anything doesn't seem right, it probably isn't, get in touch with us and we will fix it. As a welcome present as well, we would like to offer you a discount. So the signing fee will be scrapped entirely. So if you decide to sign up after this event, you will only pay the annual fee, but not the sign up fee. Okay, so what will people get when they sign up? Obviously, if you're a branch and if you are a member, an academic member, this platform offers you an opportunity to disseminate your research results. You can use it as a sort of gateway to hold events and get statistics from it, engage with target audiences, recruit people for research, for example. You will be able as well, for students, will have an opportunity to work with other students and get in touch with them, join groups, join discussions. So this is the first sort of benefit for the academics. What we hope it will the benefits we hope it will bring to non-academics is that as we are chatting to different organizations interested in us, or in bilinguals or multilingualism, they're interested in finding speakers for their event, experts for consultancy, just questions to answer, maybe want to work in collaboration on a project and looking for people, or they want to work with others like them. So for example, we have recently been engaging much more intensely than previously with an Italian heritage community. It's a coincidence that In Italiano has become the first accepted member, although they're not yet on the platform either, but we have discussed that. And but there's also schools across the UK who are interested, and who knows, there might be activities going on in Italian as well, as we will not moderate everything there. So again, if you've got any questions on this, please hold on to this now, and I will move on we will move on to questions in literally 3 minutes. I have one more thing that I would like to share with you, and this is a little bit late, perhaps this should have been at the beginning, but the benefit of having it now is that most people who wanted to participate in this part of the event are with us now. So the event is divided in 3 parts. The next part, you will hear from different members of our network, old and new, about the highlights, so to say, what happened in the last year and a half, in very sort of speed dating fashion of 3-minute updates. Just please the speakers, if you can just stick to those 3 minutes, we would appreciate it highly, because we have very many updates and very interesting ones, and will take us about half an hour to go through them. Pay special attention to those speakers who will also hold sessions, because then you will be able to choose 2 of the 5 sessions that will be repeated. So basically, after those updates, we will have 20-minute sessions. If you hover over the Zoom screen, you will see breakout rooms. Hopefully, you might not see them yet, but I will open them later. And you will see that the breakout rooms appear, and you can join the one that you want to. After 20 minutes, you will be forcefully taken out of those rooms, and you will have to go back again to the same or a different room if you wish to see a different presentation. One of the presentations will only run one time, is the one on students. So if you would like to know what the student initiatives are, how this part will be developing, or is sort of what is being discussed, join the session in the first run, because it won't run in the second run. But you can obviously catch up on that later. Those breakout sessions will not be recorded, so if you miss it, that's it. But we are hoping that during those sessions, many other ideas for event will pop up, and you share it with us, and we organize them again in a larger, more calmer format later on in the year. We will then have a networking sessions. It also sounds like the same, but it's not the same. So we should have called them networking/update sessions, because all of you who represent branches, this is the opportunity where you will be able to update other members of the network on what's been going on in your branch over the last year, almost year and a half. And also, all those of you who have never been connected to Bilingualism Matters, this is your opportunity to see what the branches have been doing, whether there is anyone near you, or if no branch is available in your randomly assigned little group, then you just talk to others about your interest in bilingualism and maybe generate questions that you can then share with us. Okay, so I think on my end, that's everything. I hope that it has answered some of your questions. I'm sure not all of them. I would now open the floor to questions, and the questions can regard my presentation, Tanja's, Anna's, or Antonella's. So any questions really that come to your mind, this is the first opportunity to ask them. If you want to ask a question, raise your hand and you will be then granted the voice.
Kat, I think we already have some in the chat box.
Oh, fantastic. Right. Will you automatically link all branches news to this? We will try to do as much as possible automatically because we've got lots of that information. It's going to take a little bit of time, Georgia. So, but yes, this is the idea. With regards to registrations, can I register as Stefania or should I register as in Italiano? Okay, that's a question. Oh, that's a very good question, actually. It links up to an important part that I actually forgot to mention. So for those of you who've been with us for a long time, you know that we had branches and then branches had members. But every communication that was going from us to the branches were via directors and then to the members. And there was, I know that you sometimes struggled with maintaining the engagement of your members, but also you were responsible for all the old communication, which was sometimes possibly a faff. Sorry for the word. Now what we would like to offer everyone, that branches is one of the structures we want to keep because it allows us to work with bigger groups that are committed to each other. But what we would like to do now to offer everyone individual membership. So all people who are linked now to branches will be asked to register as individual members and signify or mark their affiliation to branches. It will allow us to assess the size of the community. It will allow everyone else to receive direct communication and to communicate directly with others. So you will no longer have to come to us and say, could you connect me with people working on X? You will be able to post that question in the forum, or you will be able to go and filter the community and contact everyone who is in that category, and then just start those conversations on your own. So all the gatekeepers that we have been for your initiatives and the gatekeepers that you have been to our communications are removed in that way. If you are an organization, then you will receive 5 individual memberships included in your organizational membership. So you will be able to feed in 5 people within your organizational membership. If you are a branch, there is no limits. Basically, you can have as many members as you wish. And we will be asking those members every year whether they're still committed, whether they're still interested, what their status is. In that way, we can also update you what's happening, basically. On that very page as well, if you, for example, would like to affiliate an organization, so a branch is working closely with a non-academic organization locally, these organizations, if they would like to become members, they can also do that, and they will get a discounted entry price as well. So it makes sense to work together. We want to just highlight and incentivize people working together because this has been the most effective way for us over the years. So Stefania, you should register as an In Italiano, as an organization, but you will automatically be asked to complete your individual profile and be able to add others as you wish, and that applies to everyone else. Right. Yes, should the branches update their pages? So basically, yes, so that's a good question as well. We have, for those of you who have surely noticed, I was leading you to the website of Bilingualism Matters to get to the platform. And this is going to be the route for a while now. So the members only is members only. And if you would like to do something with the community, this is where you go. If you want to disseminate to the world, you probably still want to keep your local branch updated on the website. We might keep this discussion open for a while, and we will be able to see how it works. So this could be our community decision what to do with our current website, basically. Perhaps at some point we will decide there is no point having two. But at the moment, if someone who is not related to us comes in, they won't be able to perhaps see all the details that we would like to share with them because they will be behind the registration wall, so to say. But we can see how that works. So if anyone would like to, test it with us over a period of time, and then just, meet every so often and see how it works, we welcome that very much. Will branch members then need to pay the 10 annual fee in addition to the? Yes, so that's an important question as well. So yes, so we have branches that have 2 members and we have branches that have 30 members. And so it was very difficult for us to see how can we make it fair to us and also manageable for them and manageable to us. So the solution that we came up with is that every branch will have the same renewal fee. But the 5 members, the initial 5 members are included, and everyone who is above that 5 that we also offer the organizations will have to pay the £10. Apart from students go free, but the staff members will pay their £10. What we think it might do, not only to collect as very minimal income, but it will sort of manage that disparities between branches, but also recommit people. So I'm sure you've got people related to your branch that have been there for a very long time and you wonder, what are they doing? So they're going to have to make the decision every year. Does that make sense for them to still stay connected? Maybe they will see more opportunities to do something because it will suddenly be more obvious. So that's the idea, basically. Yeah, I hope it makes sense. Any other questions? Maybe. Yeah, whether you could open, I think we can discuss that absolutely. So let's have that conversation. It's a question from Patricia Cordin, whether to open another branch nearby or whether to have another branch. So this is absolutely up to you. Also, if you want to affiliate colleagues from other universities who don't have branches there, but they want to work with you, that means that they will be considered linked to you. It's also fine. They don't have to be at your own university, so to say. So you can, full flexibility, whatever works for you. We want it to work for you, basically. Any other questions? So if anyone of the committee would like to help me post the links, it's absolutely welcomed to the joining page. So basically what happens today, if you then decide today to sign up, then what you don't have to pay today, you just send the application form. And then with those very brief questions, if the questions don't apply to you, or you're already a member and you can just say, I'm already affiliated with a branch, it still creates a record in the platform for you. So you've got an opportunity to put all the data you want to put in there. And then as soon as we get to the back end, we will approve it. And this is then you can make the final decision. Do you want to sign up or not? And what does that mean? If you would like to take advantage of the discount that we're offering for those who are with us today, you would need to click the links, not on the website, but on the email you will receive. It's a bit complicated, the back end of this platform, so I'm not going to go into details, just going to say if that you use the links from the email that you will receive post the event. Okay. I can see the links are there. Fantastic. Thank you very much. Any other questions? You can also ask them, basically, just okay. If anything comes to your mind, do send us a private or open message and we're very happy to answer. If something doesn't make sense, do send us an email as well. Please consider this whole community as a community that can learn from each other. No one knows everything here, but we are open about this and we do want to grow together. So let's make it happen. It makes so much easier working together if we just accept that everyone is just a human, but we also help each other improve. Fantastic. So we've got now 5 minutes to the next session. And what we thought would be very nice is to share with you a little video, 1 minute, that we have created for the launch, and we will be using to promote Bilingualism Matters. The author of that video is with us. Yeah, but I'm not going to put him in a spotlight because I don't want to, but it's a very nice video and we are very thrilled to share it with you for those of you who haven't seen it. Otherwise, I think, fantastic. Thank you, Carlos. So we can try to share the video with you now, enjoy it, and after that we will move on to the second part of the event. Thank you. Thank you very much for this. I think we can probably just start the next session, and there will be a 5-minute break after the highlights, so that if anyone needs to a little break, we can just do it there. So for that session, I would like to invite the speakers to get ready, basically. And I think without a further ado, we could start with the first one. I'm just hoping that the presenter is with us because I can't see her at the moment. Claudine, are you there?
Hey, Kat.
Oh,
Hey, Kat. Brad is asking exactly the same question I was asking. Can we get the link to the video? Because the video is great.
absolutely. We have it on the YouTube, so you will at the same time be able to check our YouTube. So, Carlo, could you post the link to the YouTube?
Thank you.
Please share it as wide as possible. On that topic, we're also going to try a crowdfunding campaign to support us in those first months and years. And so, again, everything you share as profusely as you can. We should translate it into other languages as well. If any one of you, any languages that you speak, if you could provide us with the script, we can do that and have them in all the languages. So we just need the community help for this. Absolutely. Okay. Claudine, are you there? Claudine. Yes, I can see Claudine, but she has no camera at the moment on.
Yes, I am.
Oh, fantastic, fantastic. Claudine, are you happy to start the next part of the event with your spotlight? Sort of with your...
I am. Sorry, I just had to change. I was just teaching until 2 minutes ago. So let me just...
oh my goodness, apologies, maybe I should...
No, it's okay, it's okay. So you should see my PowerPoint.
Mm-hmm.
Okie dokie. So let me put it in presenter mode. Okay. Good. So what I wanted to present, I'm again sorry for just rushing it like that. So I am from Luxembourg, and we are very happy to be part of Bilingualism Matters. I have been for the last year. So what I present is not the outcomes of our project, but one output of our project, which you can know more if you look at the website. So it's about collaboration with parents and multiliteracies in early childhood education. Why that? Well, we know that early literacy experiences at home and in early childhood education, so schools or childcare, that they have a huge impact on children's language and literacy development. and also on their achievements. So, sorry. Given the importance of home and school, we think it's really important to focus on collaboration and develop these literacies because they're so important for children, especially those who come from children of migrant background. We are in Luxembourg, so it's not about developing literacy in one language, but it's about multiliteracies. So when I speak of multiliteracies, we do not only mean literacies in different languages, but also looking at the multimodality, because we focus on children aged 2 to 4. So why this particular project in this particular country? Well, we are from Luxembourg, and Luxembourg is a multilingual country. So 3 languages are spoken on a more or less regular basis. That's Luxembourgish, German, and French. But there are many, many more on account of this huge diversity. The country is really small. It's in Western Europe, and it borders France, German, and Belgium. So a lot of commuters are coming in. What's new in the education system is that we have now a multilingual education program in the early years, which is for schools, but also for early childhood education. So creches, daycare centers. And this program has 3 pillars, the first one being language education. So here we're looking at Luxembourgish and French, but the weighting is different depending on the program, on the institutions. Collaboration with parents, it's seen as a key to develop languages, and networking. So you can see that, you know, language education collaboration is the big thing to develop, and hence our project. So since 2020, we've tried to develop, to support, and also explore both collaboration and multiliteracies. And you know, we have collected our data through COVID. We are analyzing them right now, but we have done quite a bit to support and to develop multiliteracies, for example, conferences, professional development, and we have done 4 movies. And it's these movies that I wanted to briefly present to you. The best way to do it is obviously, you know, inviting you to go there and have a look. These videos are really short because we know that it's not easy for professionals to take the time to, you know, really look at them. So we have 5 movies, the first one being just an introduction. So the 4 movies are really for professional development in order to help the educators, teachers, but also parents to understand what literacy is, how to develop it, who can participate, what to do, the importance of libraries, for example. And then we have 2 visits where we really show what happens if parents are coming to the creche and are doing activities with children in different languages, so reading books and so on. So showing what does that actually mean. There are also interviews of the parents. The movies are multilingual. So the parents come in and they do their activities in multiple languages. So they are multilingual, but we subtitled them as well in French, and we subtitled them in English, and the introductions are always in English as well. So I hope that you will have a look at them and share them with educators, and we hope that they are valuable. And yeah, obviously on the website, if you look, then we will slowly, you know, update you, you know, with all the findings of the project.
Thank you very much, Claudine. And we're certainly going to be asking you to upload the resources that you have as well on the platform so that people can find them in one place. Fantastic. So our next speaker is Multimind. So it's Theo.
Great, thank you. I'm sharing my screen and I hope you can see it. Great. Is it black on the side or can you see it?
Yes,
properly?
it's fine. Mm-hmm.
Okay, right. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to give an update on the project Multimind that I presented last year. This is an ITN project that started in 2018 and is finishing at the end of this year. So I'm going to say a few words, just very few words about it, that it is an international, multidisciplinary and multi-sectorial project involving 14 countries, 5 disciplines and 4 sectors. And it has 5 different work packages. As you can see on these slides, we have 12 institutions that are involved heavily. In each one of them, there is one PhD student working on a specific project. And there are also 21 partner organizations where the PhD students have been going for secondments. Now, here you can see the titles of the 5 projects and the 16 PhD students who have been involved in the project. Several of them have now finished with a PhD and they have started applying for jobs. Some of them already have postdoctoral jobs, but keep an eye that these will be coming out in the field, and hopefully they're going to be the next generation of academics working within the field of multilingualism. Now, what I wanted to highlight today is the website of the project. It is multilingualmind.eu, and it has a lot of resources that can be used by everyone. So in particular, we have a section on dissemination where we have 66 poster presentations that everyone can download. There are 62 conference presentations, 23 paper publications that can be downloaded. And we are currently working on policy reports that are for professionals. So we have 1 ready and we are working on 3 other ones. Here is the one policy report that has already been uploaded, and it is about speech and language pathology. It has been uploaded in English and also in German, and we are planning to translate it in many other languages. Another section is the section on communication, where you can find blogs, newsletters, video clips, flyers, links, and media. One particular aspect which I would like to highlight are the video clips. We have had a lecture series called The Multilingual Mind, where there are 43 different video clips that you can download and watch. This is a very good resource for everyone, for students, but also for the general public. We also have a YouTube channel, which is called Multimind ITN, and I will put in the chat the link to the website and also to the YouTube channel. Finally, we have a website on activities where we list the trainings, events, meetings, outreach activities, and the final conference, which I would like to highlight, is taking place between the 27th and the 29th of June this year in Constance, but it's also going to be hybrid. The first day consists of us presenting the policy report for teachers, speech and language therapists, and psychiatrists. And the other 2 days are for academics. We will present the main effects, the main findings of all 15 projects. These are going to be presented by the PhD students. So that's going to be an opportunity for everyone to watch main findings, academic findings from those projects. You can see here on the flyer the link to the website of the conference. So this is an open event, so anyone can register for free and take part in the event online. So that's it, what I've prepared for you today. This is again the website of the project and the email where you can send any requests that you may have. And now I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to put those links on the chats. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Theo. Very exciting. And so we can now move on to another project that's called Team, and it's going to be presented by Anna Everett. Anna, you probably want to go to the full presentation mode. Anna, we can't hear you, so I think you might have started speaking while on mute. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you. So this is an overview and updates. We are basically an Erasmus Plus funded strategic partnership for higher education. The full name of the project, the full title is Teacher Education About Multilingualism. We are focusing on teacher training that is providing the next generation of teachers who would hopefully be better prepared to teach, to deal with multilingual students. We are a partnership of 9 universities, all being BM branches, and we have an associated partner, 2 associated partners from Tübingen and the Netherlands. The aim of the project is to educate pre-service and in-service teachers in higher education institutions about various aspects of bilingualism and multilingualism. Specifically, we want to strengthen the professional training of teachers by preparing them to better deal with linguistic and cultural diversity, to prepare teachers in other education to better respond to the needs of multilingual students, and improve academic instruction, in particular teacher training. We don't have work packages, we have intellectual outputs. Currently we're at output 2. We are preparing audiovisual materials that will be available to anybody interested eventually. And this is what we are currently working on, producing video interviews with experts, also recording insights from students, preparing screencasted presentations that could be used in teacher training. And there's a lot more in the pipeline. At the moment, I would like to highlight the team project website, where eventually all the materials will be available. At the moment, these are working versions still being worked on, still being edited, not ready yet. So thank you very much for your attention. And this is the project website again.
Thank you very much, Anna. So yeah, you can see there's many projects going on with loads of materials. So there's already a wealth of resources to dive in, and we will be trying to make sense of them as well for you to make it a little bit easier if you're not related to those projects. Right, now we're moving on to Magdalena Wrembel and Zofia Wodniecka from 2 Polish branches who will share this presentation.
Thank you, Kata. I hope you can see my screen already.
Yeah, you can go, you want to probably go to the presentation mode because we see the slide on the side.
Yeah, I hope it's working already.
Maybe try again pressing that.
Okay. Sorry, yes, I got it down there. Yeah, I hope it's better now. So hello. Yes, I'd like to present a very brief report on behalf, as you said, of our 2 Polish branches in Krakow and Poznań. And I would like to report how we support Ukrainian refugee students in Poland faced with the current war crisis. And I would like to report in particularly on an interdisciplinary team that has been created in Poland supporting education of migrants and refugees. Its name is Science for Education. It's a totally grassroots initiative of a group of academics, practitioners, primarily who originate from Polish universities in Warsaw, Krakow, and Poznań. And the informal group was created upon the outbreak of war in Ukraine after the 24th of February, as we witnessed a very sudden increase of a number of Ukrainian refugee students in Polish schools. It's very difficult to give an exact date, exact figures. The figures we're providing there, the 200,000 comes from March, from the estimates in March, a year after the war outbreak. At the moment, we tried to find more up-to-date figures, but we failed to, but we're guessing it's double the number, just to give you the scale. So the aim of our initiative is to support both teachers and educators in Polish schools working with migrant students, as well as the students themselves. And the members of the groups have got previous experience in developmental and cognitive psychology, in language acquisition, foreign language learning, including Polish as a foreign language, a second language, multilingual education, teacher training, cultural and social psychology. And our initiatives have been threefold. On one hand, we focus on policy making in the sense that we would like to influence the policy of the Polish Ministry of Education. So we're drafting at the moment a letter with recommendations to the minister. The second tier is mapping the needs. We have just launched a survey for teachers to explore the challenges and the needs, the challenges that they facing in the current situation in the Polish schools. And third tier of our initiatives is providing direct support. And we see that via sharing resources, various resources, and unifying the platform of different resources available, supporting teachers of migrant students, training for teachers, providing trainings, workshops, and we'll be talking more about that in the second part or our third part of our meeting today, and supporting Ukrainian pupils and students at schools. So these are some of the recommendations briefly, but we'd like to share with you just a selection of those. We want to ask the minister to appoint a counselor for migrant refugee education at the Polish Ministry of Education, to broaden the qualifications of teachers who are entitled to teach Polish as a foreign language or second language, as for the moment this is fairly restricted and we see it as a challenge. We'd like to draft a program for teaching Polish as a foreign language at schools, and create a website, the Teacher Support Center, where we're planning to bring together different materials supporting migrant educations, which are very much dispersed at the moment. And finally, one of other recommendations would be to provide financial support for intercultural assistance at schools, at Polish schools who are mostly working on a volunteer basis at the moment. So thank you. That's a very brief report to just let you know what the situation is like and how we're trying to respond to the current situation in Poland. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Magda. So now we're moving to the presentations that will then also evolve into 20-minute sessions. So if you've got questions to the presenters that have been presenting up till now, I'm just hopeful that you're going to come across them in the networking sessions, because that's going to be randomized. But now those people who you will hear from now, you will be able to ask more questions in the breakout session. So we start with Helena Kolidobrova. Helen, over to you.
Thanks, Kat. Let me make sure that I share. Right. Do folks see the website? Do you see my screen? Yeah. All right, great. Thanks. So this is a project that focuses on Indigenous health and minoritization and language, really. So this is the very brief version of what I'm going to talk about during the breakout session. But here's the brief version. This is a work in collaboration with Liliana Sanchez in the University of Illinois in Chicago, and a vast number of people across several continents, actually, the goal of this project is multifold, really, one of which, the biggest one, is to focus on the fact that the response to any health crisis, more generally, depends on the linguistic as well as cultural factors. And this has been really affecting indigenous communities and immigrant communities all around the world, and primarily because messages that have come from organizations like the World Health Organization have not matched linguistic and cultural stances of such communities. So what we wanted to do is to see whether folks, where folks were in terms of their understanding of these messages and what they had rather, how they were dealing with the crises. And at the same time, we wanted to see if we could come up with a better way, if one such a way was needed, if we could come up with a better way of collecting data for Indigenous and migrant and other minoritized communities. So what you will see on this website is questionnaires that have been created for several languages and have been validated by community members in these languages. And there you'll see, you will see that there's a number of different languages from different continents. You will also see audiovisual materials that have been created by Indigenous people from various places who have actually talked to communities themselves and discuss a better way of communicating such information. You also see language documentation videos that have been created for community researchers to document their own languages. And finally, brand new, you will also see a corpus that went live maybe yesterday, actually. So all of the interviews, over 200 hours of interviews across different continents, have been transcribed, translated, and ready for you all to use for your own research. But of course, they remain property of the communities themselves. So that is what I will be talking about.
Thank you, Helen. Thank you very much. So we are now going to move to Fabrice Jamon. I hope I pronounce it properly. Fabrice, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't speak French, unfortunately, yet. Kalek, so please introduce your organization and the subject of your further session.
Hello. Hello from New York. My name is Fabrice Jamon, and it has been a while since I wanted to work with Bilingualism Matters, and I'm so glad that Kat and Antonella accepted a crazy idea as they're working together, particularly on one aspect on which we focus at CALEC, which is publishing multilingual books. And I'll be talking a lot about that in my session. And also we'll be running a longer workshop at the end of the month. And Kat mentioned it already. But CALEC was started in New York City in 2018. It is, in full letters, the Center for the Advancement of Languages, Education, and Communities. And this is an offshoot of a movement of parents and educators in New York City that has focused for many years on the development and constructions of dual language programs in public schools. And so we've been set up as a nonprofit since 2018, and one of our programs, TBR Books, is really to provide parents and educators with resources, books in many languages. And we've been publishing books, distributing books in as much as 15 languages. And some of the books are written by well-renowned scholars. Others are written by various authors from diverse communities. And hopefully through our partnerships between CALEC and Bilingualism Matters, we can find and create synergies and welcome some of you as our authors, and work together in creating more books for multilingual families and linguistic communities. So we'll get into that later on in the session.
Wonderful. Thank you, Fabrice. So please join Fabrice's session if you want to learn a little bit more about that. And we will now move on to Stefania, who would present the organization in Italiano, which happens to be in New York as well.
Hi, thanks so much. Can you see my slides now?
Yes, you can probably,
okay.
You probably want to go to the presentation mode as well, as we see the slides on the side as well.
Oh, not sure what you mean. I'm sharing.
So we
hold on, sorry.
Try again.
Share and do what?
If you share, we'll have a look. I think you are.
Yeah.
So we see on the side all the editing options open.
Stefania, I think if you click play in the top bar.
Oh, I see.
On
near the left.
Yeah, this.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay. All right. Thank you.
No problem.
Thanks very much for inviting us. For this is so exciting for me, for us as an agency organization, which was set up in New York as a movement first, and then it became a not-for-profit organization in 2019. My name is Stefania. As you can see, I'm originally from Sardinia. I see my Catalan name, which is not even recognized as part of Italy. And Francesco Fada, president, is also here. So it was created as a movement. I mean, it was it was really necessary for us to voice the problems that families have when they move from Italy or from Europe because of a lack of resources, and it was becoming a problem for me. Definitely, having a child that was going to go to elementary school at that time when we moved from the UK to New York, because it was just very difficult to maintain Italian at home. My husband is from New Zealand, so we also carry different sort of Anglophone cultures at home. He speaks Italian, but as I said, it was very difficult to find books, and especially in public libraries. And you can hear many languages spoken, but Italian obviously had some changes. Also, that was the video that we can show maybe later. That was the video that practically originated everything. All these demand for a better bilingual education and support for the families. So, and this is our mission at the moment, supporting introduction of Italian into the public school programs, but also in public spaces, because as I said, as you walk into a public library, you can see lots and lots of books in many different languages, but Italian books are really, really rare. And there's only one Rizzoli book that also has a very tiny children's section. So that was a big thing for me, especially coming from the UK, where I lived for many, many years, where reading was supported. And so I knew it would have been a problem for not just us, but for other families, international families. So it was very, very important for me originally to reach out to different cultures. So Fabrice Joumont certainly helped me understand a little bit better the situation. There wasn't enough transparency in public schools. So I had no idea about all the rights that I had as a mother, as a parent. So the result, this revolution, this Italian bilingual revolution started, and it attracted the interest of a couple from the DOE. At that time, in 2014, when I was doing this, we were doing this, the DOE gave us the go-ahead to start an Italian program at PS 242, which is in Manhattan on the Upper West Side. And at that time, there was only one school in Brooklyn, PS 112 in Bensonhurst, that also had Italian. And at that time, I believe that they were doing it up until 3rd grade. So every year they would add 1 grade. So then Williamsburg, District 14 in Brooklyn was the last one to join in. And during COVID-19, we also had a very, very interesting discussion with Staten Island, but also Queens. But Staten Island, the whole community, DOE community there was really, really interested in introducing Italian. Even during COVID, I don't know what they did. It was very difficult to understand. We haven't spoken to them since. There has been a lot of restructuring in the DOE. So. And now Queens, maybe, who knows? So this is a photograph of a workshop that we organized with the help of a friend who is a music professor. And there's a music teacher here, music and movement, that delivered this workshop at PS 242, so which was really nice, in Italian. So doing music and dance in Italian. You can see some press, either written, by us, articles published on La Voce di New York in both languages, but also in the Italian press, because the news was published. So that was really very nice. And there's a link on our website. We're going to go through that later. We participated in many events and webinars, as you can see, and we also organize a lot of activities for families. So offering support not just to families, but also to teachers, because some teachers are also Italian American and they want to speak Italian with us. So, and this is our network, as you can see. So lots of interesting, exciting ideas and things and projects for the future, when we can discuss this later.
Thank you very much, Stefania. Do you know where you need to go if you're interested in Italian? And we're going to move on to the next speaker, who is Frances Blanchett from Penn State, and we'll tell you about the session that's coming up.
Hi, everybody. Yeah, so my name is Frances Blanchett. I'm the coordinator of the Penn State branch of Bilingualism Matters. We were, I believe, the first US branch, and our branch is very active and involved in the local community. We do workshops for families, teachers. We have a strong relationship with our local school district, and we conduct professional development sessions for teachers. We have a repertoire of activities and workshops that we've developed for public engagement at local events, science fairs. And we also have very strong involvement of our graduate students. So we're located in the Center for Language Science at Penn State. And we have a very active graduate student contingency. And we provide them with lots of opportunities to develop their skills in translational work and public engagement, including we have a biannual publication of a newsletter that translates research around a particular theme related to multilingualism, linguistic diversity, and language learning. So lots going on at our branch. And today I'm going to be working with Antonella, I believe, to facilitate a discussion session where we're just going to, we're aiming to begin to develop a shared sense of what good public engagement might look like in, multilingualism research across the network. So it's mainly a sort of a fact-finding mission for us as a network. We're interested in learning what people are considering best practices across the network. And we would like to gather some information about the kinds of challenges that people are facing and to discuss some of the common mistakes and risks we see in engaging with the public around these very complex ideas in language science that can be very difficult to translate in ways that lead to productive actions. So we hope you'll join us to contribute to the discussion and to share your perspective and also to learn about what public engagement looks like in other parts of the network. And also just to begin to contribute to our shared sense of what a gold standard for public engagement around multilingualism research and linguistic diversity might look like. So hope to see you there.
Thank you very much, Frances. And the last person who will speak to us in that sort of speed dating fashion is Eva Maria Schnelten, who is a student here at the University of Edinburgh and has been actively trying to get and successfully students to collaborate on public engagement across the network. So Eva, if you could step in and introduce your session and give a little bit of update.
Yes. Hello. So I'm Eva, and I'm one of the volunteers at the Edinburgh branch. Pre-pandemic, we actually had quite a few different projects, most of which unfortunately slowed down a little because of what happened in the last 2 years. But one project that was fortunate enough to continue throughout the pandemic was our podcast, Much Language, Such Talk. You might have heard of that before. You might recognize my voice. I don't know. We have 8 active volunteers who work on the team, where we interview people on their experiences and their expertise about bilingualism and language. We actually have quite a few attendees today that we had on the podcast. So Antonella was our first episode, but we have interviewed Helen about sign languages and quite a few others, Thomas Bach, Dobrochna, Kat and Christy. So yeah, we were fortunate enough to actually also interview, for example, Ellen Bialystok, but also the United Nations Special Rapporteur on Minority Issues, Fernand de Varenne. And my personal highlight was David J. Peterson, who created the languages in Game of Thrones. We're currently in season 2. We have 2 more episodes coming out, one next week and then one more in June. And we're currently planning season 3. So if you have any ideas, you can always reach out. I can share the email address and the website in the chat once I'm done talking, multitasking. So yeah, we would really appreciate the support because we, the 8 volunteers that we are on the team, we do all the edits, the transcripts, social media, and all of that ourselves. So if you want to subscribe or just visit the website, and you can find us on all podcast platforms, that would be great. But yeah, that is just one of many, many projects that we had and that we would like to start or continue. Because there's so much potential and so many ideas, and we all come from different backgrounds and have different interests, and just so much potential. And with now the social enterprise being up and running, we are planning to get the students and the volunteers involved again. We kind of started a volunteer community in 2020, but with everything up in the air with the social enterprise, we are now ready to kind of get that going again, which is why we're going to have the separate student session where we can talk about how volunteers can contribute to the public engagement. So if you want to join me there, that session will only run once. So if you want to come immediately after this, I'll be waiting.